After grabbing the winner at the Emirates and going top of the league, Castorre and Liverpool would then face a rough patch. They drew to Celtic in the Champions League and went in behind against Leeds. Despite equalizing later on, they went in behind yet again, but were saved by an offside call. Against Norwich, things couldn't get much better. Liverpool managed to take the lead, but would concede an equaliser and weren't able to respond. But their lowest moment would come against Burnley. After a goalless draw which left Castorre extremely frustrated due to the chances he missed. Liverpool had lost their top spot in the league. So up next we had to play Leipzig away. Obviously, because we drew the previous game against Celtic, we had to win this game and hope that Atalanta wouldn't win theirs, top the group. It was a pretty awful game for Liverpool and a very frustrating personal match for Castorre. He had a couple of very good opportunities, such as the one you just saw. And then here another pass. Castorre is through, shoots again, and the goalkeeper saves. But just when you thought he was done, he goes here, takes another shot, and he goes wide of the post. 3 chances in like 30 seconds missed. Obviously this hurt him a lot, especially his ego, because he depends on goals. And here he was through, and the ball just goes wide. He just wasn't hitting the back of the net. And this just wasn't a good performance by him or for Liverpool. They ended up drawing the game, and obviously they ended up in second place, which means that they will have to face a tougher team in the last 16, and that team was no other than Real Madrid. The great Real Madrid. Lorenzo Castorre Jr. is going to go to the Bernabeu with Liverpool to play against the European giants, the European kings. So maybe drawing the game and ending second place wasn't that bad. Maybe it wasn't. But anyway, the league was finally getting back on track. Here Castorre assisted Ekitike to take the lead against Bournemouth. It was an okay performance. He still wasn't scoring, but you could see the quality, you could see the finesse, and look at the dribbles. He's such an explosive winger. That's why he was nicknamed the Chilean Neymar, because the little tricks he does like this, they're just so fun to watch. They captivate the audience. And Castorre is just showing his quality. In the end, it was another game where Castorre wouldn't be able to score. But we still gained the number 1 spot in the league. It was back to us. And now we had to play Everton away. The Merseyside derby, it means everything to the Liverpool fans. And it was another game where just things weren't exactly going Castorre's way. There was a nice shot, a Trivela almost, that didn't hit the back of the net. And here, this was a funny moment. There was a foul, and Castorre ends up sitting on his lap. It looks painful, but it's also quite funny. He's just sitting on his lap. But anyway, after that, Everton will get an amazing opportunity to take the lead. I thought we went in behind here, but no. He somehow missed an open goal. I think that has to be on purpose. There is no way he missed that. But anyway, when the match was about to end, Castorre gets through. Will he score? No, he assists Ekitike for a tap-in. Another 3-point seal, and Castorre being very generous to his team, delivering assists left, right and centre. And after winning that game against Everton and the next one against Newcastle, we were now 6 points clear at the top of the league. And that's when we had to face West Ham in what I can only describe as an absolute joke of a game. Here, West Ham took the lead, but it wasn't through a normal goal, it was through the most ridiculous own goal I've ever seen in my life. Konate putting it into the back of his head accidentally after Alisson clears it onto him. That is just ridiculous. Absolutely silly. But in the second half, I thought we would be able to turn it around, but the absolute opposite happened. Here, Paqueta, another easy chance for West Ham, 2-0 down. And we hadn't lost a single game until now, so it was looking really bad for us. But when everything looked lost, it was Cody Gakpo who took one back for us, 2-1. We're not out of this yet, we can still salvage a draw or maybe even a win. But the game just wasn't going our way, and in the final minutes, when we were really pushing for an equaliser, They just put a massive ball over the defense. The player was completely alone. I thought it was offside because of how good the chance was. But yeah, he buries it, then drew back the net, 3-1, and West Ham had pretty fairly beaten us. Castorre will have one final chance, but of course luck was not on our side this day. We lost the match, our first loss of the season, and the lead was reduced to only 3 points at the top. Lorenzo Castorre had now gone a full 9 matches without a goal for Liverpool. His performances had gotten significantly less impressive, and the fans were starting to lose some faith in him. Everyone thought he should be benched in the next game, but the manager, Arne Slot, continued to believe in him. And this is what happened. Finally, Castorre scores again for the first time in a while, and that's a really clever finish. The keeper couldn't even react. His teammate is through. Over to Castorre, and that's a brace for the young man, 2-0. Liverpool are through again. Castorre gets in the box. Surely not. And there we go, the hat-trick for Lorenzo Castorre. His first hat-trick in the Premier League, and what a way to respond to the critics. But Castorre is never quite satisfied. Castorre is through again, and he has actually scored a 4th goal in this game. He cannot be real. Lorenzo Castorre Jr. cannot be a real player. A poker in a Premier League match, something very few players have ever achieved, and he just did it at the age of 19. He's a different kind of beast. No goals in 9 games, but here's 4 in 1. Lorenzo Castorre Jr., ladies and gentlemen.